Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Johnny Crypto. A solution to retirement crisis. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says Americans should work for more years. No thanks, Larry Fink. How do you break away from this cycle? You invest in the right cryptocurrencies and you set yourself free. You know, it's easy for these rich people to always say, well, Americans should just work until the day they die. What do they care? They're not going to work all these years like you're going to work. They don't even relate to me or you. You gotta break away from this system. This comes from Smoke. Exchanges know something is coming. The coordination study XRP, says BitTrue. Of course the exchanges know what's coming next. They know a massive run-up is coming for XRP. Most likely the exchanges also know that at some point utility is going to be driving this market. The days of hype are ending. Central Bank of Russia will use existing cryptocurrencies with exchanges for international trade. Crypto exchanges like Garantex and XVED have already demonstrated utility for Russia to evade sanctions. By relying on these crypto exchanges, the Central Bank of Russia can officially and unofficially leverage their services across major blockchains to facilitate cross-border transactions. But they're gonna use existing cryptocurrencies. I wonder what cryptocurrency is best for cross-border transactions. Oh, that's right, XRP. Tokenized real-time instant payments are officially running through the U.S. clearinghouse. Switzerland has also launched their real-time payments with 6 interbank clearing. This comes from Chad Steingraber. So there you see it. Finally, smaller financial institutions are also embracing real-time rails. The Minnesota-based Affinity Plus Credit Union has launched a real-time payment service that allows members to receive funds instantly through the clearinghouse's RTP network and FedNow service. Everything is gaining traction still. You know, everything's still building out here in the United States, behind the scenes. We're not getting the big announcements, but things are actually happening. Why banks are panicking over payment innovations. Take a listen to David Schwartz.
Banks have discovered, they used to think to some extent like we don't care about payments, that's not how we make our money. We make our money because we hold people's money and we make loans and that's how we make all our money. But if I'm not using a bank for my payments, why would I keep my money there? Like I want to keep my money where I can make my payments, and then why would I go to the bank with for a loan if I don't have a relationship with them, like, and they're facing loan competition from these online loan companies? Like, banks are realizing that there's disruption happening and they're looking for some fundamental way to do things better, and we're offering that to them, and Swift really isn't. And I think also recently we focused a lot on non-bank financial institutions, and they have interesting challenges too. So challenges that they have is sometimes it's difficult for them to find banking partners, and sometimes they're competing with banks for payment business, but they need the banks to move money. And so they have these other challenges. And the ability for them to interact directly with each other through RippleNet without having to go through banks as intermediaries or without having to go through Swift is tremendously interesting to them too.
This is why.
Take notice what he said there. They don't have to use Swift, and they don't have to use the banks. But David Schwartz is also telling you that Ripple has a solution that can fix the problems at the banks and at the online services as well. It's a one-stop shop. That's what Ripple is really becoming. And they have the best liquidity provider, XRP, with that on-demand liquidity. You see how this is going to gain traction. All we need is one bank to start utilizing RippleNet and XRP. It's game over after that, because every single bank will want to get on board so they can keep their customers happy. Vanguard, the investment giant, restricts clients from purchasing Bitcoin ETF as it fully embraces XRP. You know, Vanguard always moved in the right direction, and I think Vanguard has a lot of ties to the elites. But you see how they position themselves, and they know what RippleNet is capable of. They know what XRP is capable of. We are holding what fixes the current financial system. Why would they ever embrace Bitcoin ETFs? Even the OG Bitcoin investors, they know the ETFs were the worst thing to happen to Bitcoin. Right now, most likely, Bitcoin would still be sitting at an all-time high if it wasn't for the ETFs. JP Morgan to report customers who exploited TikTok glitch to authorities. JP Morgan Chase is investing thousands of cases of possible check fraud linked to a TikTok trend where users deposited bad checks and immediately withdrew funds due to a glitch. The bank, still assessing the full extent of its losses, has since fixed the issue and plans to share evidence with police departments across the United States. We know those TikTokers are not getting away with anything. It's check fraud, and it's blatant theft. You know the check that you're putting in is bad. So why would you ever take the money against the bad check? It's common sense, people. Custodia Bank CEO Caitlin Long asked the Fed, "What is so scary to you about a small, woman-owned bank in Wyoming operating in the same businesses you claim are so risky, while big banks are simultaneously piling into them?" Custodia is a bank that got involved with digital assets. You know, I like the way the Fed is now telling people at the banks what they're going to do. You know why the Fed doesn't like people getting involved with digital assets and crypto? Because they know that they're going to push away from the traditional banking system. They're going to break away from the banks, and they don't want bank runs to happen. But the problem is the banks don't offer anything to their customers. You're not going to get rich by putting your money in a savings account. You're better off getting that money invested in something that's going to yield high returns, like crypto. Breaking: Elon Musk offers Ripple Labs $25 billion for the purchase of all of their XRP holdings. I don't know about you, but I am honestly sick and tired of reading these bullshit posts all day long. It's made up nonsense. And yet people fall for this bullshit. You know, every day I could go on X right now and write up some kind of nonsense, and people would say, "Yep, you're absolutely right. This is going to be incredible going forward for XRP holders." But it's made up nonsense. I don't get it. You know, Elon Musk is most likely going to work with Ripple on payments at some point in the future. It makes sense for Elon to go in that direction. But to be saying that Elon is going to buy out Ripple Labs for $25 billion, it's just ridiculous at this point. Americans lose 1.3 million jobs. New data reveals a staggering loss of 1.3 million jobs among native-born Americans in August. At the same time, 635,000 jobs were gained by foreign-born workers, marking one of the largest job displacements on record. Since 2018, the U.S. has reportedly created 0 jobs for native-born workers, while 4.7 million jobs have gone to immigrants. Like I told you, they are creating a global citizen. When they have open borders, eventually you're going to get a global digital ID. you're going to be a global citizen. That's what this is all about. But you know, when you look at this, in this country, the cycle goes like this. You go to school, then you go to college for 4 years and you get a degree. But then you can't get a job in this country because they're not creating any new jobs for people with college degrees. Then those people are still in debt with student loans. The entire system is broken, from the housing market to the banking system, even to the jobs market. The United States is failing in every single market and continues to fail. And I think they're doing this by design because they are pushing everything towards the Great Reset. $250,000 is the new $100,000. True or false? What's your opinion on that? Put it in the comment section down below. 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, including nearly half of six-figure earners. You know, when you make more money, you end up paying out a hell of a lot more money. And if you fall in the wrong tax bracket, you end up making like 30 to 60K a year anyway, once you break 100K. Because there's different tax brackets that hit you with much higher taxes. But it's true. Everything costs more. I always said it, you know, the $20 bill replaced the $1 bill. What $1 used to buy you, now it takes $20 to buy the same thing. Eventually, the $100 bill is going to replace the $20 bill. And you see it coming because they keep trying to tell you, well, inflation is coming down when we all know it isn't. Then they tell us the banking system's getting better. We all know it isn't. Then they tell us the housing market is becoming more affordable, and we all know it isn't. But that's what the mainstream media news tells people. It gives them a false sense of hope. At the same time, everything that they're creating is nothing but theft. They are stealing your hard-earned money. This comes from Marty Party. U.S. stock market update. At close, the S&P 500 lost $2.2 trillion of market cap in the first week of September. Yet people still think the stock market's bouncing back as well, because all over the mainstream media news, they just say it's a flash crash, or, oh, it's a temporary crash. Things are going to turn around right away. And then all of a sudden, you see how it's not really turning around. It's gradually getting worse. And hopefully at some point the Fed cuts those interest rates. That would help the stock market and crypto. They're going to fake an alien invasion. Research Project Bluebeam. I know I talked about this a few times. And honestly, I see a lot of people saying it's going to happen before the next election. And I also see a lot of people talking about the upcoming election and crypto. They're saying it's going to be a buy the news event. In other words, they're expecting a decent run-up into the election, followed by a crash and a major sell-off. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. If the Fed continues to lower rates, I think we're going to pump all the way to the end of the year, and most likely into the first half of 2025. But I expect by then some sort of crypto regulations will be put in place. I know stablecoin regulations will already be put in place by them. And hopefully we start to see adoption and utility drive the price of XRP. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.